very sick to my stomach, severe vertigo.
In the sky, something unnatural began to fall.
Hey y'all, welcome back to your favorite YouTuber's channel.
So much money. I don't need a job. Why? Because I can manifest. Everything is mine.
I am just kidding. This is actually my very first YouTube video. Not actually. I have filmed many YouTube videos, but I have posting remorse or recording remorse. Like, why you do that? Why you say that? Why you act like that? I don't know. Anybody else struggle with that? Anyone else trying to be a content creator and get too embarrassed of your own content? It's okay though. We are actually changing that today. That's my goal every day. And today it's happening. So I hope you enjoy. I'm going to be sharing a conspiracy / true real event that happened. It is actually so bizarre. It is one of the most bizarre things that I think has ever happened. I didn't mention I'm going to be also doing my makeup. Let's get into this crazy phenomenon. So this actually happened in the summer of 1994 in a small town in Oakville, Washington State. It actually started raining, and you might be like, okay, rains all the time. That is so normal. But what was different about this rain specifically is it wasn't water. A lot of residents actually reported it to be this gelatin substance almost, and it was about the size of a grain of rice to a quarter size. And I don't know if you know this or if you've seen or touched rain, but rain is it's not jello. So that was really weird. One of the first people to actually report this was an officer by the name of David Lacey. And he was on shift, just doing his thing. And all of a sudden, it started raining. He was like, what the heck? So he turns on his windshield wipers and realized it doesn't, just kind of do how rain does. It literally just starts smearing across his windshield. So, like the smart individual he is, he puts on some gloves and he decides to touch it to inspect it or whatever. And when he does this, he realizes that it is, in fact, gelatin or a jello-like substance. And literally the smearing on the windshield was so bad. After you wiped it away, it just smeared all the way across. You literally couldn't see anything. So actually, over the next 3 weeks, this would happen 5 more times. 5 more times. And this occurred over a 20 square mile radius. So this only happened in this very small area, and it didn't happen anywhere else. Another person who decided that they were going to investigate these weird blobs was a woman by the name of Dottie Heron.
Her name is Caddy Heron.
Oh no, Hearn. Dottie Hearn. And she noticed it was raining these blobs, but she didn't put on gloves. She decided that she was just going to touch that shit. And more brave than I don't know. Would you, if you saw blobs falling from the sky, would you touch them with your bare hands? I don't know. This brave woman decided to touch it to investigate. And she ended up getting violently sick. Actually, a lot of people ended up getting violently sick. They started developing these flu-like symptoms after touching these strange blobs.
So I just went over and I touched it, and it wasn't hail. It was a gelatinous-like material.
Even not you didn't even actually have to come into actual contact. Just being in the proximity was making people sick, but also there were animals dying from these strange blobs. After touching these blobs, Dottie became very, very sick, and she actually had to be hospitalized for 3 days. She was having flu-like symptoms, and she was finding it very hard to breathe. So while she was there, the doctors actually diagnosed her with an ear infection. what? So they said that her symptoms were literally from an ear infection. And Dottie had said that she's had ear infections before and obviously never had this kind of reaction to having an ear infection. Like, majority of people don't. Like, so she just had an ear infection, supposedly. Not. Actually, Dottie's daughter, Sunny, was suspecting a correlation between the blobs and her mother's strange illness, as I feel like the doctors should have, because I'm sure she probably mentioned it. So she actually ended up getting a sample of the gelatin blobs and sending it to a hazardous material unit. So, very smart girl. A scientist named Mike Osweiler found 2 types of bacteria in these strange blobs. One of them was known to infect the human digestive system. The other was just they were unable to identify it. They were actually unable to identify the other one as well completely, but they just know that it infects the human digestive system, I guess. So that's really strange. They did, however, note that the cells didn't have a nuclei. And I don't know a lot about cells, but we do know that cells have a nuclei, and these did not. This was like a significant detail that it didn't contain a nuclei, because apparently a lot of people were saying that it was white blood cells, but this actually completely refutes that claim, because white blood cells have to have a nuclei, so they were not white blood cells. There are actually a few theories for what these blobs were. And one of the theories is it was a jellyfish or different parts of jellyfish. They thought that the jellyfish parts were being dispersed into rain clouds in bombing runs carried out by the Air Force. So the Air Force did, in fact, say that they were flying around the area on that day, but they were not releasing any jelly-like substances. So that theory was quickly debunked, as far as we know. Fluid waste from an airplane was another possibility that people were thinking. But again, the Air Force said that they did not lose any hazardous materials that they know of. Oh, and the last theory is that they were actually trying to test chemical warfare, and they were trying to do it just in a small localized area. And people think this because they didn't actually kill anyone, but it just got everyone really sick, and they think that maybe the government was just trying to test it out to use it in war. These are all the theories that the locals have for the blobs, but nothing was proven, and it is still unsolved. And it is such a bizarre phenomenon. There actually is no other samples. The sample that the research company had that the daughter sent off is gone, and they have actually no record of it, which is really strange. They have not seen the blob since. So an answer is just completely out of reach. So that was the Oakville, Washington blob conspiracy. I'm going to finish up my makeup real quick and be right back. Okay, so I have now finished my makeup. Here is the finished look. And thank you for watching my very first YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. I hope you come back. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot better at these. So stay tuned for future videos. Bye. Don't know how to do an outro. So peace, love. I don't know. Conspiracy. All right. Bye, guys.